Hey, what's up everyone? Now that I've talked about the worst Funko Pops and the best Funko Pops of 2021, I want to share my personal favorite Funko Pop pickups of the year. The pops and characters that make me feel nostalgic, sentimental, pretty much the ones that are never leaving my collection. So I'm not picking these because they're the best designed, the most valuable, the hardest to get, the most exclusive, the ones with the most stickers on them. These are just my personal favorites. I picked 10, and I'm cheating a little bit because some of them are pairs, but these aren't in any specific order, because it's kind of impossible for me to really pick like a number one favorite out of these, much less rank them 1 to 10. Two pops that I really liked this year were Itchy and Scratchy. They're just commons. Itchy is holding a club. Scratchy is holding a mallet. And yeah, they're from The Simpsons. They're the Tom and Jerry, like, satire characters. And as a kid, I want to say that Itchy and Scratchy might have been the first time that I actually saw satire and recognized it as such. As a kid, I wasn't sitting there going like, oh, wow, that's satire. That's, how interesting. It just kind of like, I just kind of understood it. And I think it was these two characters. But yeah, they're just commons. A lot of the times the common ones are my favorite. Although, if you take a close look here at Scratchy, see how his eye looks a little wonky? The eyes are glued on. The nose, the teeth, and the tongue are also glued on. I feel like Funko might have designed it this way because at one point they were going to flock it, or they are going to flock it eventually. Because pops like this, if this was the only thing they were going to do, I really don't think they would have designed it for all these pieces to be glued on. I think they just paint them over. As you're going to see on the other pops, like, they're not glued on like that. So, I don't know. I imagine that the plan was to flock these because Itchy is that way too. I could be completely off base. I don't know anything about toy manufacturing. It just seems that way to me. But anyway, going off on a weird tangent. But yeah, Itchy and Scratchy, definitely some of my favorites of the year. I also really liked Mozzarella from the Tokidoki line. Also just a common, but totally striking in the black and white with the blue tuft of hair, the earrings, cute face. But I mean, come on. Her name is Mozzarella, and she's dressed as a cow, and she's the head of the Mafia. Okay? Let that sink in. I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for cheesy puns, so I really like this one. I also really love the new Finn and Jake pops that came out. I have been watching Adventure Time for years. I always feel better after watching it. It's a feel-good show. I love it. Love the animation. It's funny. And I have... well, this is the new wave, but I have a lot of the original Adventure Time pops, and I even have Finn and Jake, the pop ride. But I didn't have a Finn and Jake just in regular pop boxes. I have a zombie Jake, but that doesn't really count. I just, for some reason, never picked those commons up. Like, I thought the original Jake was kind of, the original Finn was kind of ugly, and the original Jake was kind of cool, but he was always so cheap that I kept putting it off, and then I got the car, and one day I woke up and they were really expensive and I never got to add them. So really happy that they made a new Finn and Jake, and they came out so good. I mean, look how cool this Finn looks. Really awesome pops. So hands down, my absolute favorite toys as a kid were G.I. Joe. I could play for hours with my G.I. Joes. I loved them. Really liking all the G.I. Joes that Funko is putting out. I really want them to put like a Tiger Force Dusty out. That was my favorite G.I. Joe as a kid. So many good ones they can do. But one of the ones I wanted the most was the Baroness. Absolutely loved her. I mean, she's a nerdy, like, dominatrix intelligence officer for Cobra. I mean, come on, it's awesome. Yeah, another common, pretty plain kind of pop. You really have to kind of like take it out of the box to appreciate the details on this one. Pretty simple pop, but look how good her glasses look. They even put the lenses in there. Some nice glossy paint and some flat black paint to differentiate her clothing there. Nice clean Cobra logo. Simple, but done well. Instantly recognizable as Baroness. Sculpting is good all around. They spent a little extra time on that booty there. But yeah, she looks really good. And honestly, I think I might keep her out of the package. And honestly, maybe one of my favorite pops of any year. Maybe my favorite pop of this year, if I actually had to pick a favorite, is this Alice Deluxe with flowers. Look how perfect she came out. The ground could use a little bit more detail, but it really doesn't matter because look how colorful and perfect all the flowers look. The paint jobs are excellent. Could this pop have fit in a regular size box? Maybe. If they shave that base down like a little bit, a hair on each side, bunch those flowers up a little closer, this probably could have fit in a regular size pop box. Kind of like those Ultimate Princess pops. But I'm not complaining because I do like this nice big windowed box for her. Even though it's irregular, it really lets you appreciate the details without having to take her out if you don't want to take her out. And they have a nice insert in the back. Nice box art as well on these Alice in Wonderland pops. A lot of people don't care about that, I guess, but I don't know. I do. I think the packaging really sets some pops over the top. Or, you know, you can have a really nice looking pop and then a really bad design on the box, and it's just not as special. But I do like the way the Alice in Wonderland ones came out. But yeah, as a kid, we didn't have very much in the form of like a big collection of videotapes. You know, there was no DVDs. It's like in the 90s. And Alice in Wonderland was one of those tapes that me and my sister would watch almost daily. Like, this cartoon was imprinted into my brain at a very young age. So I instantly feel nostalgia. And I'm just instantly attracted to Alice in Wonderland in general. The cartoon. The new movies, they were alright. But yeah, the cartoon is very special to me, and I really love this Alice with flowers. So I'm noticing that I picked a lot of Disney pops for this list. And these three are definitely some of my favorites. This Donald Duck, mine doesn't have the best paint job. Hardly noticeable though, but they look so good all together. I really liked the Three Musketeers as a kid as well. I loved pirates and swashbuckling and all this kind of stuff as a kid. But yeah, look how cool these all go together. But what I really like about these, kind of really doesn't have anything to do with pop. But when it comes to like collecting, it's kind of nice how this set, you really had to pay attention to the cons, right? Like this one, New York Comic Con. This one, San Diego Comic Con. This one, what's WonderCon? LA? I forget where WonderCon is. I think it's LA. But 3 different conventions, right? So they're all convention pops. And it's not so easy as just, oh, look, a new set came out. Let me just pre-order the whole set. Yeah, these were all easy to get. But what I mean is you had to kind of collect them from the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year to have your complete set. And then get lucky that you got good boxes and all that. But yeah, I like the collecting aspect of it, and I think they came out pretty excellent. I also absolutely love James Bond, have been watching it since I was a kid. I liked No Time to Die, but my favorite part was Paloma. Yeah, I just had to instantly add her. Super memorable character. I liked adding a new James Bond pop that I really liked. Because honestly, I thought the set was dead. But I'm glad they made a few more, and this might be the last James Bond pops we see for a while. So if you're into James Bond, now is the best time to try to get them. Well, maybe not now, Maybe let the hype from this movie die down a little bit. But eventually, these are all going to be very hard to get and probably go up in price. Not sure about these two. Maybe these two. What I'm saying is, I don't see any new James Bond movies being made anytime soon. I don't see why Funko would go back and make any more James Bond pops from the Daniel Craig era after these. So don't snooze on these too long so they don't get expensive on you. But yeah, this Paloma, really nice. Kind of plain, just a common. But I really liked her character, and if you watch this movie, you'll understand. And I got another Disney pop. This time it's the Blue Fairy from the new Pinocchio line, which was very solid. But the Blue Fairy, awesome character. It reminds me of course, Pinocchio, but also AI, artificial intelligence. Really like that movie as well. She makes an appearance in that. I just like what she symbolizes, right? Like, you know, turning Pinocchio into a real boy, kind of like a hopeful thing. She's so pretty. And it's also, I want to say this might be the only chase I actually found in the wild or got from even a mail call, like where I paid retail for a chase. It was this one. Got really lucky. And the only difference I think between this one and the common is that the common, her dress is just painted solid, and on the chase, she's glittery, which is nicer, more accurate, because in the cartoon, she is kind of glittery. She can take like different forms. So the glittery is more appropriate for her, and it really does look good. Yeah, the Blue Fairy. Really like this one too. And my favorite character from one of my favorite movies this year is Ratcatcher 2. And yeah, she's just a common as well. And yes, I would have preferred like maybe an unmasked version or an unmasked chase version would have been nice as well. I would have definitely splurged to get that because I like the character so much. But this is cool enough. And I'm pretty sure this was designed before they even saw the movie. So they didn't, like, I imagine if Funko was able to see the movie before they designed the Funko Pop, they probably would have gone with an unmasked version. But I can see why they went with the masked version without seeing the movie because, you know, a lot of people often complain about, you know, pops that just look like humans. And, you know, without seeing the movie, yeah, something like this is a little bit more interesting than just a human head. So I understand why they did it. I just hope they eventually do make an unmasked one, but who knows if they will. I'm not sure how well this pop is selling. But it is pretty cool. Although I think her mystery mini is a little bit more interesting with the design because of all these rats they put on her. It's pretty cool. Like, if they're going to go with the actual whole full-on Ratcatcher 2 outfit, some more rats would have been nice, even though she does have Sebastian there. But look how cool this looks. And yeah, they probably designed it this way to make her more sturdy because she's a mystery mini. And without these rats, she'd probably not stand. But it still looks really cool. One more Disney pop, and that is the Pirates of the Caribbean dog. Pure nostalgia for me. One of my favorite rides. I think Space Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, my favorite Disneyland rides. I'm from California, so I got to go a couple of times as a kid and as an adult. With children, without children. I've been to Disneyland every which way you can. And I love it each time, never had a bad experience. And this pop, when I see it, instantly brings me back to those memories, being at the park, having a great time. And yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, my favorite. And this pop came out so good. Absolutely love it. And my final favorite pop of the year is Maria Sharapova. Another common, tennis. I don't think I saw very many people on YouTube. I don't think I saw anybody get Maria Sharapova. I think I saw a couple people get Roger Federer, but not Maria Sharapova. So, really not sure how well the tennis line sold. They made quite a bit of them. Really love the Bjorn Borg as well. But yeah, as a teenager, I was really into tennis for some reason. Really like this pop. Really glad they made it. Very, very unexpected. Definitely one of my favorites of the year.